Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Today, we're back and we got a news story here about another one of these fake ass Hebrew Israelites. This news story goes as follows. You have one of these fake ass Hebrew Israelites that was a football player. He was forced to eat a pepperoni pizza because he missed some type of practice on the football team. Now, I don't know how in the hell you an Hebrew Israelite and they force you to eat a pepperoni pizza. I don't know how in the hell you could be forced to do something like that. But hey, that's these fake ass Hebrews we got out here. So let's look at this story real quick.
Are accused of forcing a student athlete to eat pepperoni pizza despite his religion for
Man, who is this lady, man?
forcing a student athlete to eat pepperoni pizza
Titties
despite
and
his
things, they
religion
just
forbidding pork.
moving all
News
around
5's
in
Emily
there, ain't
Hamilton
they?
was at that meeting and has the latest. Forcing a student athlete to eat pepperoni
Look at them
pizza
go.
despite his religion forbidding pork. News 5's Emily forcing a student athlete to
Mm.
eat pepperoni pizza despite his religion forbidding pork. News 5's
No, I'm gonna quit playing though.
Coaches are accused of forcing a student athlete to eat pepperoni pizza despite his religion forbidding pork. News 5's Emily Hamilton was at that meeting and has the latest.
Courtney, the Canton City School District Board of Education deliberated for about an hour and a half before ultimately making the announcement that head coach Marcus Watley and 6 of his assistants have been relieved of their coaching duties following that incident in question. The future of the McKinley High School football team is headed in a new direction as of Thursday evening.
The identified coaches engaged in actions that constituted inappropriate, demeaning, and divisive behavior in a misguided attempt to instill discipline in the student athletes.
As former head coach Marcus Watley and 6 of his assistants were relieved of all coaching duties at a special called school board meeting, and current athletic director Antonio Hall was named the interim head football coach for the upcoming season.
We believe that the individual we hired as the interim head coach is the right individual to lead our football team back to where it should be.
The incident in question happened in a school gym and was captured by school district cameras, according to Superintendent Jeff Talbert.
It was inappropriate, it was divisive, demeaning. And again, it's not aligned to our the standards we hold our professionals to.
An attorney for the underage student athlete says McKinley High School football coaches forced the student to eat a pepperoni pizza in front of his team as a punishment for not showing up to practice, which violated his Hebrew Israeli religious faith. Attorney Peter Patakis, retained by Watley and his family hours before the Thursday board meeting, says his client was trying to teach the student athlete a lesson.
Marcus brings back the pizza. Oh, it has pepperoni on it. I don't eat pork. I'll go get you some chicken fingers. No, it's okay. I'll just eat this pizza. So we took the pepperoni off and he ate the pizza.
Watley's attorney says the student was never forced or coerced to eat the pizza.
This young man had every opportunity to get up and leave the room at any time.
Administrators and school board members ultimately denied Watley's attorney's request for a week-long extension to the investigation and vowed Thursday to begin a new chapter for the McKinley High School football team.
The events that occurred on that day, right, that was orchestrated and led by our head coach and the 6 other assistants was inappropriate, it was demeaning, and it was a misguided attempt at enforcing accountability.
Former head coach Marcus Watley and 3 of his assistants hold other positions within the school district, and it's unclear yet what disciplinary action, if any, will be taken against them off the football field. Watley's attorney also said it's unclear at this time if he plans to file litigation against the school district for his termination. Reporting in Canton, Emily Hamilton, News 5.
All right, so we look at the story here. Ohio high school football coach is fired after player says he was forced to eat pork. Let's just kind of go through what happened here. I'm going to read what it's a story here and give a breakdown. I know they kind of gave a breakdown here in the video, but I noticed that a lot of the news they're giving different accounts about what happened here. But it says the head football coach at an Ohio high school and 6 other coaches there have been ousted after a football player said he was forced to eat pork in violation of his religious beliefs for missing a voluntary workout. So that's what they didn't mention in the video, that this, first of all, this workout, this practice was voluntary. You could show up if you wanted to, and you didn't have to be there. So that's number one. And then the Canton City Board of Education voted unanimously to not renew the coaching contracts of Canton McKinley head football coach Marcus Watley, two of his assistants, and an assistant baseball coach. With the same vote, the board also deemed three other assistant football coaches as ineligible for future coaching positions. The district had suspended the coaches last week after the 17-year-old player reported what happened to him last month on the 24th. Another coach was also suspended, but he will remain as an assistant coach because the evidence did not show that he acted in the same manner as the other coaches, officials said. A lawyer for the team player's family has announced plans to sue the school district. The player and his family are members of the Hebrew Israelite religious faith and do not eat pork. The player was a Hebrew Israelite and do not eat pork. Well, you ate pork that day, motherfucker. I know that. Now, and then it says the district superintendent, Jeff Talbert, said surveillance video gave administrative the information they needed to warrant their recommendations to the board. However, he declined to provide details of what happened and said the video would not be publicly released due to federal student privacy regulations. Peter Patakos, and an attorney retained by Watley, said details of the events were exaggerated and parts are false. His statements were supported by 5 football players who attended the school board meeting in support of the 8 coaches. Patakos and the students said the player could have left at any time, adding that Watley offered the team chicken nuggets instead of pepperoni pizza after the player said he did not eat pork. They said the player chose to take off the pepperoni and eat the pizza. Patakos blamed an assistant coach whom he did not name for inflaming the situation by reporting an exaggerated version to administrators and the player's family. Patakos also blamed the district for conducting a rushed and incomplete investigation. Talbert disputed the claims about the investigation, saying the video gave them enough information to determine that the coaches acted inappropriately. The team's attorney, Ed Gilbert, said the player skipped a voluntary workout 4 days before the incident while nursing a sore shoulder. He was ordered to sit in the middle of the gym and eat an entire pepperoni pizza, Gilbert said. He was allowed to remove the pepperoni and some of the cheese, but the pork residue remained, Gilbert said. The teen would have been subjugated to additional drills, and his status on the team might have been jeopardized if he had not followed Watley's order, Gilbert said. And look what CBS wanted to add to the story. CBS added that, now that was from what I just read was from ESPN. You know, they the big sports gurus, they are whatever, whatnot. You think they'll get it right, but CBS says they say it's something similar as well. They says an attorney for Watley as well as 5 football players disputed the claim. They claimed that the coaching staff offered the player some chicken nuggets instead of the pizza after he told them that he did not eat pork, and that he eventually removed the pizza slices from the pizza and ate it. The attorney for Watley claimed that an assistant coach reported an exaggerated version to administrators and the player's family with the ulterior motive of taking Watley's job. Oh, see, we didn't see that before. We didn't hear about that before. The attorney for the player in question disputes that defense, saying that the student was not offered an alternative food and now is undergoing psychological counseling as a result of the entire situation. Now, CNN, I don't really like fooling with CNN, but they give a little bit more in-depth account of what happened, a little bit on what happened in that gym that day. and regardless if it's true or not, but we're just trying to piece all the pieces together here. So CNN says 7 of 8 Ohio high school football coaches who allegedly forced a Hebrew Israelite player to eat a pizza that previously had pork on it, despite knowing his beliefs forbade him from eating it, have been fired, according to the Canton City School District and the student's lawyer. We move on down here. It says the 17-year-old student who hasn't been named is a rising senior at Canton McKinley High School, where he was offensive lineman on the football team. After skipping an earlier weightlifting session because of an injury, the team's coaches told him to eat an entire pepperoni pizza as punishment, while his teammates were forced to carry heavy weight discs as they exercised around him, attorney Edward Gilbert told CNN. The teenager reminded the head coach multiple times that he did not eat pork. The student had previously told coaching staff multiple times that he was a Hebrew Israelite and that he did not eat pork because of his religion, the attorney added. It's our contention that the coach was fully aware of this and intentionally ordered a pork pizza for the punishment, Gilbert said. After the coaches yelled at him and threatened the team with more exercises, the student was allowed to take off the pepperoni slices and some of the cheese and subsequently ate the pizza, despite considering it still unclean because of the pork residue, according to the attorney. The student is seeking to be transferred to another school after the traumatic episode and has had to seek therapy, Gilbert told CNN. Wow, my gracious. So this is what we get here. So how do we look at this, y'all? And like I say, I look at this as another fake Hebrew Israelite. Because there's no way that you are an Israelite and somebody can force you to eat a pork pizza. There's no way you are an Israelite and somebody can get you to take off the pork on the pizza and you still consume it. Now I see why they're saying that this boy needed some therapy. He needed some psychological help because you needed something going on in your life because this is an embarrassment to people who are in this practice, that are in this conviction, whether you are Muslim, whether you are a Hebrew Israelite, or whatever belief you have. Because what they say, man, if you don't believe in something, you're going to fall for everything at any time. And this guy obviously didn't believe his true nature, and he wasn't convicted about what he was telling those people. He was one of them 1 foot in, 1 foot out motherfucking Hebrews. And I hate to try to get on this brother, but the thing is that we have a lot of these. There's a lot of these type of these so-called Bible toting motherfuckers out here that want to claim that they walk in this faith, but they are actually living a wicked life. And it's an embarrassment to those who are actually trying to live that life, if you ask me. Because I remember a story in the Bible. And a lot of us know this story. It's the story of Daniel. Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys. And they at that time, they were not living in their own land. And so the Daniel and these 3 Hebrew brothers, a law was passed at that time in that land that they could not pray to their God. It was against the law. Since Daniel, by him being convicted of his beliefs and what he was into, he went ahead and prayed to his God anyway. And you know what they did? They threw him in the lion's den. We all know this story. So look at what happened to Daniel. Daniel was threw in a den of lions for praying to his God. This is what he had to go through. But this little Negro up in Canton, Ohio, all he was threatened with was, oh, if you don't eat this pork pizza, you're going to have to do 100 push-ups. You don't eat this pork pizza, you're going to be off the team. If you don't eat this pork pizza, you're going to have to do more drills than you would have had to do before. And your team is going to suffer. That's all you had to do. You got to start asking yourself, who are you serving here? Are you serving God? Are you serving your creator? Or are you serving your master? Which in this case, are you serving your head coach? Are you serving Master Charlie at the job when he tell you you got to work on the Sabbath day? I'm sick of these fake Hebrews. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this story is because you got a lot of these Hebrews that are they're compromising Negroes. That's what they are. They're compromising Negroes to where they'll take the pork off the pizza, they'll take the bacon off the burger and still eat it. And I'm trying to tell you, Hebrews, there's no way in your right freaking mind that if you're eating at any of these restaurants that you're keeping the dietary law of not eating swine. Because if you're eating at any of these restaurants out here, I guarantee you are eating pork. You think these restaurants are separating the pork from the chicken? You think they're separating the pork from the veggies? Hell no, they ain't doing that shit. They're cooking the same, they're using the same utensils. They got the same people in there touching the pork, touching the chicken, touching the vegetables all at the same time. You thinking you getting something good because it's just chicken and salad. And then don't go to these pizza places talking about, well, I just order a vegan pizza. It's got all vegetables on it. It's got a cauliflower crust and everything. It's gluten free. Get the fuck out of here. Don't you, man, because see, the thing is, I used to work at a pizza place. I used to work at a pizza place back when I was a teenager. It was like my first job I ever fucking had. And I'm going to tell you how they used to do the shit. And I guarantee you they still do it to this day. And how they used to do it is that they used to, like, especially when they got busy. When they got busy, you had a table with a bunch of pizzas on the table. So you might have a couple of pork pizzas on that table, a veggie pizza on that table, a chicken pizza on the table, and they all just spread it out. And what you're doing is that you're making all the pizzas at the same time. So when I touch that pork and put that pepperoni on one pizza, I touch the veggies, and then I turn around and touch the veggies, put that on your pizza, touch more pork, put that on another pizza, and then I put it all in the same fucking oven. Because you think they got two different ovens? One for your pork pizza and one for the vegan pizzas? They don't. They got your pizza sitting in there right in there with the same pork pizzas. That pork grease just popping up all on your shit. And then when they pull that pizza out, guess what they slice it with? They don't got a veggie knife. They don't got a pork knife to separate it. They use the same slicer to cut all the pizzas. I don't know what you motherfuckers is thinking. And then even if you manage to somehow get a pizza that's made clean, you then got to worry about the cheese that you're eating. Because if you look on the back of the cheese that you're eating, I don't care what cheese it is, if it says enzymes on it, you're more than 9 times out of 10 getting pork. Them enzymes coming from pork. It's coming from pig. Now you got enzymes that come from cow. You got enzymes they could get from a goat or sheep. But that's more expensive for companies to get it from those animals. It's cheaper for them to get it from the pig. And if the company want to make as much profit as they can, I guarantee you they're going to use the pig products. Now, if it don't say microbioenzymes, vegetarian enzymes, non-rennet enzymes, rennetless enzymes, and it just says enzymes, you're more than likely getting swine just off the cheese. And that's why I say you cannot eat at none of these places if you're trying to not eat pork. So all I'm saying here with these fake Hebrews, this is embarrassing. This family, if I was this family and I was convicted saying, oh, Hebrew Israelite this and Hebrew Israelite that, I would have never came to the news with this story because it's embarrassing. This is an embarrassment to people who are living this way of life, and you turned around and this boy still ate the pizza. What an embarrassment. I mean, come on, man. What an embarrassment for the family to find out that your child has been eating swine. I mean, I would not let that. That's an embarrassment. Because I'm telling you, it reflects on the parents that's supposed to have been teaching this child, and it also reflects on, if these people are part of some church that they go to, it reflects on them. Because who's ever teaching these children to tell you that you could take the swine off as if that shit wasn't cooked into the meat, cooked into it. And how did you take it off? Did you touch it? Man, that shit was all corroded, man, if you ask me. You know, when they say the boy is in counseling and he needs some psychological help, yeah, he really needs some help. He really needs to get scolded, because there's no way that you could sit up here and claim that you this religious person, or you this person that's following the Bible, and then you turn around and eat some swine because somebody said, oh, you're gonna have to do some more running and drills. I mean, did they put a gun to the boy's head? Even if they done that, you got to stand for what you believe in. And it's clearly that this individual did not believe in what they really thought, what he thought was the truth. And it really was a shame, because right there, I'm going to tell you something. Right there, this guy was tested. That was a good test, man. That was a test. And I look at this also as something that you're going to have to deal with your God, your creator. Because this was a test right here for you to see if you're going to stand with your God and with your beliefs. If you're going to stand with your creator, or are you going to fail in times of adversity? And you clearly failed in the time of adversity. And the people who are teaching this little boy, they need to be held accountable. Now, I know that everybody should be accountable for their own actions, but this boy is still a child, and he should have been taught better than this. So these parents and the church he might be attending, this is a strike against you. This is a shame that this boy was not given the tools, the equipment to stand up to this type of bullshit. And I don't know what this young brother is going to do. You're playing football. I don't know what you're going to do later on in life if you're trying to make it into football as a professional career. Because as a person that's into a practice or into a culture called Hebrew Israelites, you have to keep the Sabbath day. And on the Sabbath day, you're not allowed to play football. On the Sabbath day, you're not allowed to work. You got to rest on the Sabbath. And you know, with any of these sports games and baseball, basketball, football, guess what? You're going to end up having to play on the Sabbath day. What are you going to do then? Now, I don't know. Maybe if you're a scrub, you might not have to play. Maybe they'll just say, well, you ain't got to play. But what happens if you become a superstar athlete? You're going to have to play. The team is counting on you. You're the superstar of the team, and then the big game comes and you say I can't play because it's the Sabbath day, or I got to take off for this or for that. I'm telling you, you're going to be off for the team. Because if you're their main player, their main scorer, their main person, they need you to win, need you to be there, because if you're not there, they don't win. They don't win. So I don't know how you going to do it. I don't know how you going to get around that shit. So at the end of the day, you might have to go back to the drawing board here. You might have to consider and to think about other options that you might have to do in life. And you might have to make some changes and sacrifice some things. Because if you have, or if you're convicted about a certain things that you don't want to eat, or a certain way you dress, or whatever that belief is, you have to come to the realization that you might not be able to do certain things. You might not be able to be involved in certain things, be involved with certain people. There's a world out there that you're not going to be able to live. So with that being said, I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.